Goedemorgen, dan selamat pagi. My name is San, I'm 19 years old. Like, I'm Dutch, and as far as I know, my entire family is Dutch. Like, my parents and my grandparents are Dutch, so I don't think I'm from another culture. But of course, they can be different. Okay, so like I want to talk about my Dutch culture because I've lived here for like a long as time, and yeah, my point of the Dutch culture is like we're direct, but we also know like how to say it in a nice way. It's not like straight to the point and we say what we think without any consequences. So like we also consider like how other people react or feel about it. So I think that's a great characteristic of the Dutch culture. But like also with the stereotypes, like we might be considered rude, but I don't really think so. I think it's also like a bit of honesty, because like we don't say yes but think no. We mostly say really what we think. And yeah, about the stereotypes as well, is like a lot of foreign people will think like, oh, we're cheeseheads and we live in the windmills and all that kind of stuff. But like I just think people think that because like the tourist attractions like Zaanse and everything, because they will really picture like those situations where there are windmills and people live like walking around in traditional clothing and everything. But yeah, another thing is I've also experienced another culture because I've stayed in Indonesia for 1 year. And the funny thing is, before I even went to Indonesia, I kind of already liked the Asian culture in general, because my parents have traveled there a lot. So let's say foods, I also eat like often like rice with all some kind of sauces and all that kind of stuff. So it wasn't like really like the Dutch standard food, like potatoes, some vegetables and meat like every single day. But I also used to eat pasta, rice. But we also often, like if we went to a restaurant, we would go to an Asian restaurant. And when I was 5 and 7, I went to Malaysia and Thailand. So that was as a tourist, but I really like that. So last year I went to Indonesia. I stayed in Middle Java in Semarang. I stayed there in an Islamic host family, so that was also another culture which was very unique. And yeah, there's like some similarities, but mostly it's like completely different. Like here in the Netherlands, is less about it's more about authority. Like if you achieve something really special, people will have respect for you. You can be young or old whatsoever, but in Asia, the older you are, the more respect you will have. So if you see your parents, there's like a special type of greeting which I will show. Alvin, can you come here? So like this is a special kind of greeting. It's called salim, and this is like a type of respect you will show to your parents. Like you need to do it to teachers, you need to do that to your grandparents, like anyone who's older than you, unless it's like your brother or like a small age difference. So that's like a funny part. Like also another funny fact is the salim is not only Indonesia, it's also part of Alvin's culture from the Philippines. So yeah, and what like when I went to Indonesia was unique and very difficult to change from culture. Like I always have my Dutch part in me that I will talk about, like whether I will say what I feel. I got like a lot of trouble with it, but it was also something that made a lot of unique experience. Because one time I had like discipline camp. Well, we never experienced that in the Netherlands unless you go to the army. So when I was asked what I think of the discipline camp, I kind of said like I hate it because it was all shouting and drilling, and I was like I don't like this. So I also was honest about it in my opinion, but yeah, they didn't appreciate it. But that also gave me a very unique experience because it showed me like how it works in their culture, like when you say what you think. So yes, I got problems with it, but I also learned from it. So right now, I would say like I'm not really Dutch culture or Indonesian culture. I'm just a mix between everything. I just apply what I like. So I still like have some Indonesian slang which I usually talk with like during the day, like ayo, that means let's go. And for me it's like a really cool word which you will just say whenever I want to. It's like, hey, let's go, like ayo, we will go there. So you will, like whenever I go somewhere and I learn about culture, and if I like it, I'll apply it to my own. So it's like not really like I am from one culture. I just do it more like everything what I do like and don't like. But I also keep in mind, because like when I was in Indonesia, there was like Islamic culture, and it was very unique because one time there was like a presentation about sex education, which is very normal in the Netherlands, and we have that at a young age. But the sex education presentation in Indonesia was a bit different, to the point where they said don't have sex, don't use any condoms or pills or whatsoever, just don't have sex until you marry. So like there's a very different point of view, and yeah, it was moreover very unique. So yeah, it was like very difficult to change, but I really liked it. It was seriously like a life lesson to me. So yeah, that's what I want to talk about culture for the today. Thank you for watching.